If you are making even one of the mistakes we talk about in today's video, you could be slowly putting your independence at risk without realizing it. That may sound dramatic, but think about it for a moment. Most people do not wake up one morning and suddenly lose their independence. It usually happens little by little. A person walks a little less. They become a little less confident. Certain activities start feeling harder. Then one day they realize they depend on others more than they ever expected. The truth is that many people over 75 never hear what really affects independence. They are told to accept certain changes as a normal part of aging, but the full story is often much more interesting than that. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe if you enjoy simple and practical healthy aging tips, and tell me in the comments, what part of your independence would be hardest to lose? Driving, walking, living alone, or taking care of yourself? Now let's start with a truth that surprises many people. Truth number 7. Independence is usually lost. Slowly, not suddenly. When people imagine losing their independence, they often think about a major event. But in many cases, the process begins much earlier with small changes that seem harmless at first. Maybe someone stops taking daily walks. Maybe they avoid stairs whenever possible. Maybe they become less active because it feels easier. Each change seems small on its own. The problem is that small changes can add up. Over time, less activity may lead to less strength. Less strength may lead to less confidence. And less confidence may lead to even less activity. This cycle can continue for years before people notice what is happening. Now let's move to another truth that rarely gets enough attention. Truth number 6. Strong legs matter more than most people realize. Think about how many daily activities depend on leg strength. Standing up from a chair, walking through a store, getting into a car, climbing stairs, even maintaining balance. Many people focus on weight, blood pressure, or other health numbers while completely overlooking the importance of lower body strength. Yet strong legs often support the freedom to move through life independently. And here is where things become really interesting. The next truth has nothing to do with muscles, exercise, or physical strength. In fact, it starts inside the mind long before it affects the body. And most people never realize how powerful it can be until it has already started changing the way they live. Truth number 5. Confidence can protect independence more than people think. Most people think independence is about strength. But confidence plays a huge role too. Imagine two people who have the same physical ability. One person feels confident leaving the house, trying new things, and staying active. The other person constantly worries about falling, getting hurt, or making a mistake. Who do you think is more likely to remain independent? Fear has a strange way of changing behavior. A person stops taking walks because they are worried about falling. Then they stop visiting friends because it feels easier to stay home. Then they become less active than before. What started as caution slowly becomes a smaller and smaller world. That is why confidence matters so much. Many older adults who remain independent continue doing things safely instead of avoiding everything completely. Now let's talk about another truth that almost nobody discusses. Truth number 4. Daily routines often matter more than motivation. Many people wait until they feel motivated. The problem is that motivation comes and goes. Some mornings you feel energetic, other mornings you do not. The people who stay independent for years often rely on routines instead. They walk at the same time. They stay active during the day. They prepare regular meals. They maintain simple habits that become part of everyday life. One older gentleman shared something interesting. He said he never woke up excited to take his daily walk. Some days he wanted to skip it. But because walking was part of his routine, he kept doing it anyway. Years later, that small habit was still helping him stay active. The lesson is simple. Motivation is helpful, routines are powerful, and here is something many families never notice. One of the biggest threats to independence is often not found at a doctor's office or a hospital. It usually begins quietly inside the home. No alarms, no warning signs, no dramatic event. Just a slow change that many people mistake for normal aging. And once it starts, it can affect activity levels, confidence, and even the desire to leave the house. The next truth may be one of the most overlooked reasons some people lose independence faster than expected. Truth number 3. Isolation can quietly reduce independence. Many people think independence is only about physical health. But there is another factor that often gets ignored: loneliness. This usually does not happen all at once. A person stops attending a few events. They talk to friends less often. They spend more time alone at home. Months pass, sometimes years. Without realizing it, their daily world becomes smaller. The reason this matters is simple. When people stay connected, they often stay active. They have places to go, people to see, reasons to leave the house, reasons to keep moving. Many older adults who remain independent well into their later years continue finding ways to stay involved with family, friends, hobbies, or community activities. Now let's move to another truth that many people overlook. Truth number 2, small changes should never be ignored. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until a small problem becomes a big one. Maybe hearing becomes a little worse. Maybe vision changes slightly. Maybe balance feels a little different. Many people tell themselves, it's probably nothing. Sometimes they are right, but sometimes small changes continue growing over time. The challenge is that these changes often happen so slowly that people adapt without noticing. They avoid driving at night. They stop walking certain routes. They become more careful without realizing why. That is why paying attention to small changes can be so important. And now we come to the final truth. This last one may surprise you more than any other point in today's video. It is not about strength. It is not about balance. It is not about age. In fact, two people can have similar health, similar abilities, and similar lifestyles, yet one remains independent much longer than the other. The reason often comes down to something that begins in the mind long before it appears in the body. And once you understand this final truth, you may see independence in a completely different way. Truth number 1. Independence starts in the mind, before it shows in the body. This is the truth that most people never hear. Many people believe independence is decided by age. Others think it is decided by luck. But many older adults who remain independent for years often share something important in common. They never decide that life is over. They keep adapting, they keep learning, they keep finding ways to stay involved. When something becomes difficult, they look for a new way to do it instead of giving up completely. That mindset may sound simple, but it can influence everything else. A person who believes they can still improve is more likely to stay active, more likely to stay connected, more likely to take care of their health, more likely to keep moving forward. Of course, nobody can stop aging. Every person will face challenges as the years pass. But many people who maintain their independence focus on what they can do, rather than spending all their time thinking about what they can no longer do. And when you look back at all the truths we discussed today, a pattern starts to appear. Staying active, building strong legs, protecting confidence, following daily routines, avoiding isolation, paying attention to small changes, and maintaining a positive, adaptable mindset. None of these habits seem dramatic on their own, yet together they can help support independence over time. This video is for educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Before we finish, I would like to ask you one final question. What does independence mean to you personally? Is it driving your own car, living in your own home, taking care of yourself? Share your answer in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe and join us for more practical, healthy aging content. Thank you for watching. And remember, independence is often protected by the small choices we make every single day.